Do you buy bonds at 5%, or is there more still to come here? Do we know if Powell is Volcker or Burns at this point? Well, let's try and ask all these questions to Ira Jersey, our chief U.S. rate strategist, joining us from Bloomberg Intelligence. Ira, what do you think? It looks like we're going to get there. Say we get to a 5% 10-year. Is that a buy?
Well, I think it depends on who you are. Do you buy a little and keep a little powder dry in case we get up to 5.25? I think that might be something that a lot of investors would consider. Our view has been, and to answer what you were just talking about before, Guy, is we estimate that around 92% of this recent move in 10-year yield since July has actually come from the expectation that the Fed's not going to cut very much, even when it does cut. So, we think about what happened to the terminal floor. The market was pricing for the Fed funds rate in 2025 to be 2.5%. Now it's pricing for that only to be 4%. So it makes sense that you have to have some average of what the Fed funds rate is going to be priced into the 5-year, 10-year, 30-year bonds. And I think that we're getting close to that now. But it wouldn't surprise me at all to see, the 2-year and the 10-year get back to zero at around 5.25%, 5.2%. Over the next couple of weeks. And, there probably is a time to buy. It just might be just slightly early.
So, Ira, that brings us to sort of the pancake curve that we've been talking about. And you've been bringing this up for a very long time, where everything is kind of over 5% and we're not really steeper, we're not really flatter. What's the impact of a pancake curve?
Yeah, so I think the impact is not as significant as you might think. I think what's going on with the economy is everyone's now reassessing what the economic environment is going to be in 2024, and it seems like the chances of a recession are significantly lower. The Fed is probably going to remain on hold for all of 2024, if not even longer than that. So because of that, the whole market kind of has to get flatter. Now, overall, over a long period of time, that will affect things like the weighted average cost of capital for businesses, and it will slow the economy. So when we talk about these long and variable lags, I think the longness of that variability is showing itself, and in the structural changes that have happened in the economy and the way that we finance ourselves. So eventually Fed policy will work. We will slow the economy significantly. It's just going to take a long time. Another thing, Alex, I wrote this morning in a note on the Bloomberg Terminal right now, is that money market funds are also throwing off an extra $22 billion of interest every single month compared to what they were doing 18 months ago. So that's that's a pretty big bump to potential spending, where that could add 1% to GDP if all of that interest were spent by the consumer and business sector that's receiving those interest payments. So interestingly, the people who say that higher rates might actually be fueling the economy a little bit, they might not be that wrong.